Hi all, and welcome to my review slash look slash I observe and admire Brink. For those of you who don't know, this is a first-person shooter slash parkour competitive multiplayer game from Splash Damage, the creators of Enemy Territory, also Quake Wars. They're a small mod team who turned pro and have done some pretty amazing stuff. So hopefully this will be just as good. I think it is. I don't know what you guys will think, but hey. This here is the character creator, because Brink is based around every single character being incredibly customized and you kind of creating your own little personal character, not just in terms of skills and weaponry, but also in terms of looks. So as you can see here, my character is kind of different in his own special way. He's got red spots on his head. That's just his freakish little cagoule. But he is also very customizable, and I'll show you everything you can do with it. So, this is your basic character customization screen. As you see, you've got heads, jackets, pants, shirts, tattoos. Let's take a look. So headgear, let's start by taking the headgear off, so you can actually see how we're looking at. Sorry, that was face gear. There you go, look at him, look at that stunning, incredibly vast nose. That nose can topple oceans. So see, you've got headgear, you've got berets, caps, or things, dreadlocks, just because that's what all the cool kids are wearing these days. Fashion, ridiculous Justin Bieber haircuts, buzz cuts. Generally though, I like going with nothing because I like wearing face gear instead, because the face gear is the really cool head stuff which makes you look like you're out of some sort of freakish movie. So yes, you've got, they tend to have some sort of theme. For example, this one, the Sloani, also has a jacket and a pair of trousers. I like sticking to the covert looking stuff. So I'm going to pick the eel just because the eel looks like a scary, scary man. There you go, the eel, look at that. I am the eel, I have yellow eyes. You could have also got tattoos, facial hair, the whole shebang. So looking down here, let's take a look at jackets. Jackets. See, so you can go nothing, bomb. See, they do tend to be quite themed. The bug, which is the same, sorry, the eel, which is the same thing I have on top, as you can tell, it does look quite stealthy. So they do tend to have themes. The good cop is a very traditional police uniform. Look at that snazzy looking uniform with a little badge and everything. The shield is the huge scary man of doom, as you can tell here. What else do we have? Shirts, body types, pants. Look at those sexy pants. I've always wanted pants like that. Beautiful. Okay, you're probably bored of that now, by now. But Brink has two sides, and both sides have their own visual style. Security, which is what I'm looking at now, is the police. They have a very defined, clear-cut style. The other side of that is the resistance, which you can get to by pressing that. Look at it. You can tell straight away, very different visual look. He looks a lot angry. He has a big red thing on his face. No, they're a lot more distinct, a lot more varied, a lot more slightly mad. So if I go to headgear now, instead of the usual glasses and masks, you have things like goggles, hockey masks, so you can look like a proper murderer. Cannibal, just because, you know, who doesn't want to look like a cannibal deep down? Yeah, that's the resistance. It's largely the same modification scheme, but instead of the look is very, very varied and very quite striking actually. It is pretty, it's undeniably pretty. I mean, these customization pieces are very, very different compared to what you'd get on Call of Duty or, you know, any other shoot 'em up. Now, you only get a certain amount of colours, and they're not really colours per se, they're more themes, because they also come with their own little patterns. But they are enough to make you look very, very distinct. You can't make your own themes and you can't add your own colours, but there's enough in there to have a lot of combinations. Now, the big difference really though, all of these differences are mainly cosmetic. They have no gameplay implications whatsoever. What does have gameplay implications is this, body type. Light, medium, and heavy. Now you can probably guess what the difference is. Lights are light, they jump around looking like little ponces and jump on walls. Medium is your average bog standard bloke, and heavy is huge. They carry massive guns of death. All that good stuff. They can't jump, but they can smash you in the face, which, you know, is what I like playing as light, because I'm a bit of a stealthy, sneaky stab, run behind you and piss everybody off kind of character. Look at him, beautiful. So yeah, that's like, I might change the face gear just because he looks terrifying. Let's go for the bug. Oh, look at him. There you go. Beautiful looking. Now, let's take a look at the other menus. You have campaign, which is just a campaign. Now, interestingly, the campaign is not really a campaign per se. The campaign is individual multiplayer missions linked by a storyline and by cinematics. The cinematics are all in-game, and they do play before every single multiplayer map, so there's no really much point in playing through the campaign individually. Frankly, I prefer going straight through the multiplayer, which you can see here. Very fancy schmancy server browser, which we'll look at more later, but it does use Steamworks, so the server browser works, unlike, you know, Battlefield and that sort of jazz. Challenges. Challenges are tutorial challenges in effect. There's 3 levels. The top level you can play for time, but I don't think anybody does. If you win the first 2 levels, you have a few unlocks, which are pretty much mandatory. The unlocks are mainly weapon unlocks. We're going to look at those in a second. Now, character and weapons. Let's take a look at the actual weapon unlocks, which I've been talking about. Actually, you know what? Let me make my character heavy so you can see everything, because only heavy characters can wield all the weapons. Now, there you go. Beautiful. You have 1 primary, 1 secondary, and you can look at them all in quite a lot of detail. As you can see here, every weapon is customizable. You can add vents, you can add silencers, you can add... Some of them are cosmetic, but most of them have some sort of impact. As you can see on the bottom right, like there, my stats do actually change. Look at that. You can't switch out weapon modifications in-game, but you can switch them out quite fast outside of game. See, so this is my default weapon that I like a lot. SMGs tend to be light, not hugely damaging, but very, very high rate of fire. So I like to have the high capacity magazine because it takes about a clip to kill anybody anyway. A speed sling to make it quick a bit faster. A silencer to avoid me appearing on radars. And a scope because it looks badass. And yeah, that's my default gun. On the lights, on the pistol side, which is what lights get as a secondary option, I like my revolver. Because it makes me look like Dirty Harry, and who doesn't like looking like Dirty Harry? There's also resistance models for every single gun, and they look absolutely badass. Where the security looks sophisticated and clean, resistance has teeth on it, you know? And who doesn't like a gun with red teeth? Because red teeth make it go faster. That's a fact. Also, as I said earlier, your character does have certain persistence. So the longer you play, the more levels you unlock, and the more levels you unlock, the more abilities you unlock. Now the game has 4 classes: Soldier, Medic, Engineer and Operative. You are encouraged to specialise because you only have so many abilities levels to unlock. Thus, the more you specialise, the more abilities you can get in one class, and you won't have to spread out. I specialised a lot in Operative, so I can do things like plant homing beacons on people, throw cold drop grenades, and hack turrets. There are also general abilities, but there's only so many of those, so eventually you are going to have to specialise. When we get to game, you'll see that's an issue because I will have to change class, but at the end of the day, even in the basic class without any points, you can still do what you need to do to win the game. So I think it works out quite well, forcing you to specialise without ramming you through one class too much. Now, I think that's pretty much all there is, so let's get to playing. As I said, there is quite a nice server browser, as you can see here. It was a bit messy at the start of the game, it has now been patched. And yes, it does use Steamworks, so you can use the Steam server browser, although it does seem to be a bit on the iffy side. Now, let's pick a map and get started. What do we have? It is kind of empty, but it is kind of early, so I'm not entirely surprised. Most people are doing productive things. Yeah, shipyard, why not? Oh, it's full, obviously. Ooh, German. Erinnerungshalt? Oh god, that's terrifying. If I'm playing against a bunch of Germans, I apologize in advance.
But I need you to focus. We've just intercepted this resistance message.
So far, the Founders have chosen to ignore Comrade Chen. We are the sword in his hand. The Founders have shown they only respect force. Then they'll respect this. In under 1 hour, our forces will seize control of the reactor. Unless security lay down their weapons and turn control of the Ark over to Brother Chen, we'll overload the reactor, ejecting radioactive fallout and rendering the Ark as uninhabitable to the Founders as it is to the guests. Life on Ark will be fair and just, or it will end within an hour. Our path is set.
You heard him. They'll be with you any